Viewer discretion is advised.
I had a bad feeling that something was going to happen that day. I started putting together the Fight the Devil album in 1995, and for the next couple of years recorded demos. So I had a few rough demos and pieces of demos, but the only thing that was finished at the time of my car accident was Fight the Devil, and it was still in my tape player when I got home. I took it and threw it across the room, and I wanted to destroy it, but I couldn't. So I just put it away, and I didn't listen to it for years. I had a lot of people ask me about that song. You know, everybody was curious because they knew it was the song that I was working on at the time of my accident. But I really just didn't want anybody to hear it. I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want anything to do with Fight the Devil. So a lot of time went by. I had a bad feeling that something was going to happen that day. I didn't see it coming. I just remember hearing my girlfriend say in a voice that I never heard before, "Oh my God." And the next thing I knew, I was lying in a twisted seat. The car was smoking. It wasn't on fire, but just the heat of the collision. You know, the whole thing was just smoking. And, you know, I could see the windshield was cracked. We were hit so hard that the ring holding the seatbelt snapped, and the seatbelt tore open the inside wall of the car like a can opener. The lap portion of the belt held, so, you know, my guts took the brunt of the impact. And I had some pretty horrific bruising and internal injuries from that, but, you know, eventually I recovered. I had a broken collarbone, broken ribs, front and back, torn rotator cuff. Nobody knew that I had brain damage until a few days after the accident. I couldn't do anything for a couple days. I was just dragging myself around, literally. I could hardly move. But finally, after a couple days, I thought I would try and play guitar. You know, I felt, you know, maybe that would cheer me up. And I was horrified to find out that my coordination on my left side had been very severely impaired. I would try and move one finger and it would twitch, or maybe the neighboring finger would twitch, but my coordination was totally fucked. And I made my living as a music teacher and a guitarist. The next 3 years were just a blur of doctors and lawyers. The insurance company would keep sending me to their doctors to try and say that I was well enough to go back to work. And their doctors would say, no, he's not. And that went on for 3 years. And then there were the, you know, the bill collection threats. My insurance company was responsible for the accident. But the hospitals will still send you bills and threaten you, and the threats went on for a good 5 years after the accident. 5 or 6 years it was before I finally stopped getting mail and was able to move forward, you know, and try and forget. For a long time, every time I heard a siren go by, I would cringe, you know, just reliving the ride in the ambulance. So, but, you know, in a way that was great, because after a while in Los Angeles, there's so many fucking sirens that it desensitized me to it, and I got over it. Thank you, Los Angeles. It took a long time to recover, and, you know, they had told me that it was very unlikely I would ever play on stage again. You know, I'm a stubborn son of a bitch. And I just refused to accept it. So, you know, it was just pure stubbornness on my part. You know, it was the worst day of my life. I lost everything I had and was pretty much forced to start over alone at age 30. And it was the best day of my life for all the same reasons. A lot of the early fan mail and the interview questions centered around the car accident and my recovery from that. You know, people found it inspiring that I had overcome something like that. So, in a way, without that car accident, you know, I don't think there would have been nearly the fuss over Angelrage. About a year after the car accident, I did a short set of acoustic songs in my apartment, which was filmed, and that was kind of the beginning of my return. One of those songs actually was Disenchanted, which wound up being one of the songs I released with the Fight the Devil demos on mp3.com.
I could only fool before heaven's gate. Looking back upon my life, I realize I'm too late. When all of my blackest childhood nightmares come true, and all of my heroes shot down or exposed for what they are.
I moved to California in the spring of 2000, and didn't take me long to make friends in the music scene out here. In particular, there was a whole circle of friends that worked together, did shows together, and they all had very theatrical bands, which I loved. I was a huge Dead by Day fan. Oh man. I wound up doing their website, a couple album covers for them, and I played guitar with them for a short time, but it really just it wasn't meant to be. Dead by Day was an influence on Angelrage, because when I joined Dead by Day, I was all excited, you know, I was going to be the lead guitar player for Dead by Day, until Rallis told me that the guitar was a background instrument and that the lead instruments in Dead by Day were the drums and the keyboards. So I found that to be a very interesting concept, and I carried that forward in Angelrage. You'll notice that the drums are very present in the Angelrage songs, and the guitar is not quite as in your face as some of my other stuff that I've done in the past. So that's a direct result from working with Dead by Day. One of the bands that I was hanging out with in Hollywood was Hell's Children, and their lead singer and I became very good friends. The drummer for Hell's Children, interestingly, I would work with later in Lunatics on Parole, and after that, again in Angelrage. So Angelrage and Hell's Children are very much intertwined, our histories. You know, there wouldn't be the present lineup if it wasn't for Hell's Children. At one of the Dead by Day shows, they pulled me up to the stage and cut my throat.
I give up to you.
So afterwards I go in the bathroom and, you know, my shirt's all full of this blood, this sticky, you know, and there's these two guys in the bathroom also covered in blood, drunk as hell and laughing like fools. And we hit it off right away. So we started talking, and it turned out that one of them was the lead singer for a band called Hell's Children.
There's no other place I'd rather be between your legs. Bird of the Cobras watching you. Get out the sea, let it through, bird or die. Nothing stands to me.
We started talking about Dead by Day, and when I mentioned that I did their website, man, he lit up like a Christmas tree. And so then he wanted me to do a website for his band Hell's Children. So we started working together and became very good friends. And I used to hang out at their rehearsals. They shared a lockout with a band called Creepazoid. We would all go and, one band would watch the other play, and then they would switch. And, it was one giant party. Such a good time.
This is Melting Pot!
Two of the songs on Omega are tributes to Muttley. And I think it was a very healing experience for Matt and I to work on those songs together. It was important. I don't know what happened, but it just occurred to me that I should release Fight the Devil after all those years. And I dug up the demos, I used what I could, and I came up with 5 songs that I was able to piece together from what I had, and just put them on mp3.com. I didn't think anybody would care. But I checked a couple days later, and the songs were coming up the charts pretty quickly. All 5 Angelrage songs pushed everything else out of the top 5 on the Christian metal charts on mp3.com, including current singles by Michael Sweet from Stryper and King's X, bands that I had grown up listening to. That was unreal. And they stayed there for a while too.
I was listening to a lot of Christian metal music, and a lot of it was very mainstream, very, well produced sort of stuff. And I was looking at something raw and energetic, and being new to the internet, I discovered a music site called mp3.com, and on it, during my searches, I came across this band called Angelrage, and so I listened to their EP called Fight the Devil, which was just released, and on it was one song called Breakout. Now, the Breakout song was very raw, very energetic. The lyrics really struck a chord with me because I was going through a lot of problems and situations that needed looked into and stuff like that. And there was a lyric in the song where it says, "The past is everywhere you turn," and that lyric just struck a chord with me, and I sort of thought to myself, yes, that is probably part of my problem back then, was that the past was everywhere that I turned, and I needed to get away from that. the bridge, leading up to the bridge of the song, there's a lyric where it says, "You will be free of your chains." So, you know, I knew that I had to break away and loosen those chains. And the chorus is just break out, break out. You know you've got the power. You know it's up to you. So that's basically my thoughts on the song. You know, those words really struck a chord.
Some of my earliest fan mail came from a very interesting demographic. I have no idea why, but for some reason Angelrage early on appealed to exotic dancers. And one of my earliest fan mail experiences was from a gal that I'll call Melissa, who sent me some very provocative photos of her in and out of official Angelrage apparel. Not only did Melissa model for the website, she also contributed financially to Angelrage early on, at least several $100s to help get us off the ground, which was just incredible commitment on her part. I'll always be grateful to Melissa. She was instrumental in those early days. The Blood Demo. Now there's a chapter in Angelrage history. In September of 2004, my girlfriend and I bought her parents' truck and drove it from Wisconsin back to California and did some sightseeing along the way. We stopped off at Wounded Knee, South Dakota, which is where I was inspired to write the song Raising Hell, and stayed in Colorado in the mountains. It was a beautiful little trip, but all along the way, I was giving out Angelrage CDs and leaving stickers all over the place. Anytime I saw somebody with heavy metal bumper stickers, I would go up and give them a CD, or if I heard somebody playing metal. And I had a ton of these white stickers that were spattered with blood and had the website address and these colorful catchphrases like, the end is near and this is war. And I left them as bookmarks in all the Gideon's Bibles in the hotels that we stayed at. So somebody would open the drawer and go to read the Bible, and they'd see this freaky looking sticker and wonder what the hell it was. I do know that the website traffic went up quite a bit after that little promo tour, so mission accomplished. There's only 25 or 30 of those CDs, so if you have one, hang on to it. 2004 was a very interesting year. I was getting a lot of crazy fan mail, a lot of offers. There was a couple of Christian labels that offered to sign us, and another one that offered distribution and wanted to hook up a European tour, but they were also a Christian label, and I didn't accept any of those offers because I was afraid of getting pigeonholed as a Christian rock band, which we're not. So I hope you've enjoyed this little peek behind the scenes, and thank you guys for watching the video, for liking and sharing. I fucking love you guys. You rock.